Please remember to like, subscribe, and never forget to ring that bell.
Inevitable. Oh yeah. This is another Khaos Central production. It's your boy Comet Chat with another fire intro. Rule of 3 is the name of the show, and I made it here for my main man, Mr. Chris Knight. I hope you like it, bro. So here we go. Well, the Rule of 3 is the name of the show. It stars Chris Knight, Comet Chat, and Nzo. Third Monday of the month at 9 o'clock's loading late, cause that's when the fun starts. We talk about this, we talk about that. 5 questions, decide fiction or is it fact? 3 cats that all came together like Run DMC. We're tougher than leather, so grab a seat, strap on in. The Rule of 3 is about to begin, so let's go. Rule of 3 is a show, Khaos Central is the channel. It stars me, Chris Knight, and Nzo. 3 casts with one singular vision to make this channel the best channel on YouTube, the best channel on the planet. Peace.
Is there any stuff?
Oh, what is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight. This, of course, is the Rule of 3 on Khaos Central, and I am joined by the usual suspects, as Nzo likes to say. So, how you guys doing?
Doing good, but I think we're gonna have to. Danny's gonna have to go back in the studio and redo these tracks because I noticed only in my show does my name come first, and I'm like, since I'm winning all these tournaments, shouldn't it be Nzo, Danny, then Chris Knight or something like that?
No, not if it don't rhyme.
No.
Okay, so the only reason I'm last is because it rhymes better. Okay, I got it. I got it.
So,
I got it.
Nzo, let that kind of sink in.
What is going on, everybody? Again, Rule of 3. Second straight month in a row that we've done the 3 shows now, and I'm so proud and happy of that. Granted, it was my fault to begin with. I'll take the blame. It's okay.
And in another month, it'll be like, hey, guys, my computer broke. And you can't do it anymore.
Shut up. You know, I really just...
Hasta la vista, baby.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just going to say, you know, we're not playing games today. We're not playing. No more games. No more games. We're going. We're doing this.
Worth it.
I know us. I know. Hey, good times. Good times. All right, let's get to the whole game show thing, Ermajigger, whatever we're going to do tonight. But first, we're going to talk about these 2 great gentlemen next to me. Danny, go ahead and go first. Tell everybody about yourself, what you got going on, all that great stuff.
Road of Wisdom is my channel. You can find me on my channel on Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I uploaded one this morning, and I'll be doing another one on Friday. Also, you can find me on this channel on Mondays at 9 p.m. Also, you can find me on Storms Live on Sundays at 8 p.m. and on the Hangout on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. So 8, 9 seems to be the sweet spot where you can find me several days throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. All right, very good. Nzo.
What up, y'all? Biggaford Entertainment. You know how we do it over here. We got a couple of shows during the week. We're doing Dead City, OOC, tournaments, whatever we can find, have some fun what we're doing. But next week, make sure to look out for a stream, and it's only going to be titled 51. Not exactly sure what day it's going to be, but it's going to be titled 51, and it's going to be a banger.
And what is 51 going to be about?
Yeah, I know it is that they finally said, okay, we're going to be the 51st state.
Oh, my God. Phantoms on him. Phantoms.
I can't Phantom Zone a fellow American.
We welcome you.
It's impossible.
Welcome to the country.
Phantom Zone him, please.
Come on.
I walked right into that one. Damn it.
All right. Hey, we won't expect it just to be 51. You got how many provinces?
Subconsciously, man, they want to be. It's okay. It's okay.
How many how many provinces do you guys have? You can have each one can be its own state. So we'll take up to 59, 60. I mean, we'll do whatever. I mean, we're flexible down here.
Zone yourself for
No,
talking blasphemy.
no, that's I don't need to. Anyways, I am Chris Knight. Real Review 3000 is my channel. So do stuff over sometimes on these two guys' channels. I also do stuff over on Honstar YT. Sundays we do the weekly wrap up. Right now, that's what we're at. We're about ready to bring back Name That Tune, maybe another game show. The Rumble will be coming back. I'm still working on getting all that stuff back together and stuff. But hey, this is how we do things, guys. Yeah. So let's go and share the screen. Make sure I can do this. And it is the 3 doors. So 1, 2, or 3. Let's see here. Nzo thinks he's always winning, so we'll let Danny go first. Danny.
Give me number 2.
Number 2. Boom.
Of course, he would pick number 2 because he's the second in the you know what I mean? You get number 3, Chris, and obviously I'm gonna pick number 1, right? So yeah, there we go.
Whatever. Anyways, this is political deathmatch. This is what I'm calling this topic. With the murders in Minnesota, the attempts on Donald Trump's life, the Florida sheriff saying that he would kill non-peaceful protesters graveyard dead, is the political landscape of America getting more violent, or is the ability for everything to be streamed, recorded, and broadcasted in seconds just making it seem that way?
Ooh, that's a good question.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the 3 minutes. And Danny, since you picked the topic, you can start. So 3 minutes. You ready? Go.
I definitely believe that social media is a big, a very efficient vehicle on getting things spread out quickly. There, I think there's an old saying that a lie is halfway around in the world before the truth can get its pants on, and that is definitely very evident here in today's society. A lot of things happened in the past, but we were able to keep a lid on it because there wasn't the platform that we have now. This show right here being case in point. We're in 3 different parts of the world. You're in the middle of the country. I'm on the east side of the country, and Nzo's in a totally different country. So that alone right there can show you just how much people can reach out and touch. I don't understand the mindset of our current commander-in-chief. It seems like he loves controversy, he loves chaos, that kind of stuff. I don't quite know what the method to his madness is. But the thing that chief said in Florida, like I told you earlier in a private conversation, Florida sheriffs traditionally have been outspoken like that. Do I think it's very smart? I don't think it's very smart because you can clip something on a dime, you can record something, you can have it. So if you think it is totally erasing just because you hit delete, it's still out there. There are people, especially if you have these iPhones. I'm not sure about Android, but I've heard nightmares about how iPhones have these big storage units facilities in different parts of the country, and they're not getting rid of that. They are collecting data as we speak. And if you think that if you become a problem or you become an issue, they have access to it, and you can be destroyed socially, economically, probably financially. The more and more convenient, the more and more technology it is the more and more it's giving people access to your private life and your personal lives. That's why I don't buy the computers that have the built-in cameras, because I've seen how those things can be activated. Even the camera that I had that's with my computer, I don't leave it on. I cut it off or I put something over it. But I'm pretty sure we all have said in the past, we say something and we hit our search engines on our phones, it pulls the very conversation we were talking about. So they're out there listening to a certain extent. How in depth they're listening to, I don't know. But the world is becoming an increasingly violent world, and I don't know what to make of it. In the law enforcement aspect of it, we are losing credibility. We are losing confidence. And this chief or sheriff saying this crazy stuff is not helping that matter at all. So I don't understand.
All right. Very good. Very good. Nzo.
Yes,
3
sir.
minutes. Time starts now.
So I'm gonna say exactly what Danny was saying. I do agree with you 100%, and I say it all the time that the internet is a blessing and a curse, right? You can find good information on the internet, especially if you do a very good extensive search, right? A lot of people, when they go on the internet, they search for something. It's like, oh, this is exactly what I think. So yes, this has to be correct. It's definitely a big problem, but also I will say this. With all the stuff that they show, with all the stuff that we see, a lot of people feel like, oh my God, I can't believe this stuff is happening. This is unbelievable. Well, this stuff has been happening before the internet. It's just being broadcast now, right? There was, no offense, but police shooting black people all the time, gun violence, gang violence, riots at protests. Y'all remember the Rodney King protests, right? We've seen all of that stuff on TV. So I think now it's just a lot more access to the information. A lot more people have computers or smartphones where they can record things. So at one point you had to get your information from the news. What I know now is a lot of my information comes from videos on the internet, right? The George Floyd thing was someone recording it on their phone. You know what I mean? So yeah, 100%. And to talk about the phones listening, that's on a whole different level, because we could be sitting here right now and I could talk about a couch. And then tomorrow when I check my phone, I am going to get nothing but ads for couches, right? And again, the methods are different, but this is something that's been happening for years as well, because they started tracking people through credit cards, right? That's how they were getting your patterns of what you were buying and what to, broadcast on TV and stuff like that. So that's a lot of the stuff that's been going on. Now, as for this sheriff, to Danny's point, I get it. You may think that way, but you keep that behind closed doors, right? Those may be the actions that you want to do or whatever your thoughts are. You don't broadcast that on national TV, because what you do now is you put a bullseye on your back if something goes down and something happens. Not to mention, we know that a lot of these protesters that go out there and protest are doing it peaceful, but you'll have a certain group that are going in there to make it bad, right? And because you put one bad apple in the bunch, everything else looks like it's, a bad protest, rioting and looting and all kinds of stuff like that. They did it with the Black Lives Matter, and now they're going to do it again with this. So you have to be very careful what you say when you're dealing with situations like this.
Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, I mean, you guys bring up a lot of the good points on this. I've always associated this to things like when kids get swiped off the street and stuff. I don't think it happens necessarily any more than it did when we were kids. I just think as soon as something happens, as soon as a kid goes missing for 5 seconds or isn't where they're supposed to be, they didn't go over to Danny's house, they didn't go over to Anzo's house, and now you're looking for them. Instantaneously, the first thing that happens is they do a threat assessment, and then they decide, are we doing an Amber Alert, or are we going to look in this neighborhood? They go through these steps, but they definitely let people know. And before long, next thing you know, somebody texts it in a group chat they have made of 50 people. And the next thing you know, those 50 people share it to 50 more people. And then boom, boom, boom. And it just blows up. So we know about things a lot quicker these days. The problem with that is that when you stream it or when you're doing it on your phone, people like yourself, Nzo, and I'm not saying that you feel this way or that you think this way, but when you watch something from somebody else's point of view on a phone, they decide, when do I start the recording and when do I stop the recording? When does it look best for what I'm trying to show you? And when does it stop looking that way? So I need to stop it now because I got what I want. I made this situation look the way I want. Does that mean that the George Floyd thing was like that? No, not necessarily. I'm not saying that what you see isn't truth. What I'm saying is that it allows people to twist and manufacture truth if they want to. And what we see is this very narrow vision of what's going on instead of this wide vision. For instance, if you listen to Donald Trump and supporters of Donald Trump, they told you that the riots in LA were out of control. The mayor of LA said this is like on 3 streets that the rioters have been at, and they come back every day and they're at the same 3 streets and this and this and this. And so it's like, which side is it? Is it the whole city or is it just 3 streets? It's probably somewhere in the middle. So we still have to use our ability to deconstruct the situation, but the ability to stream it, record it, broadcast it in seconds has definitely changed the way we look at things. Because if you think about it, we lost Martin Luther King to political assassination, JFK, RFK, assassination attempts have been done on Reagan, Ford. I mean, you go down the line. This isn't anything new. I just think the way we see it now, it happens so quickly that there's no time to react to this before the next thing is up. And it's all decided by, the media now, or your Twitter feed, or your Instagram feed, or TikTok, or whatever. 3 minutes, guys. Let's talk about this together.
So I agree with you to the point where it's like, oh, people can create their own narrative. But to be honest with you, most of the people, and I know because it's happened to me, right? Where you see something, you record it, you usually don't get it from the beginning, right? And even if you're there from the beginning, you may not actually understand what's going on until something actually goes on. So, for example, I was on the metro, and, when we're getting off, we seen these 2 metro police grab this guy, throw him on the floor. They started beating him. I started recording it, right? Now, we ended up, because they were carts away from us, so we really couldn't see what was going on and everything. We got details from people that were sitting by them, right? But when I posted it, you had so many people messaging, like, on my comments, oh, why don't you post from the beginning, you N-word, and stuff like that, right? So it's not always about someone, trying to mess up a narrative. Sometimes you just happen to catch it at that spot.
And then sometimes it is. And the example that I can remember is, remember when Anthony Mackie, when he was promoting Brave New World, and he was overseas somewhere, and they were saying how he said Captain America was.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever posted that only showed up a certain part, but when you go back and watch the whole thing from the start, it's a totally different narrative. So I see both sides. Like you said, you were doing it for the right reasons, but like you said, you can only catch it at point B when point A would have been more informative. But sometimes people start at point A, but they don't start recording to point C or D, because point C or D is going to get more views or more whatever, whatever the case may be, or they may have some kind of agenda to make it look, or to try to stir the pot, so to speak. But in those kind of things, it can be very deceptive if you don't do your homework, like you said in your initial discussion, Nzo. It is a double-edged sword. If you don't do your homework, then you can be bamboozled real quick. But I like the fact that this is a vehicle that you can do your homework in if you just dig deep enough.
Yeah, you see, and that's kind of why I said that when you record it, unless you're posting it right then, or you're doing Instagram Live or something like that, you can go home and say, oh, I don't want to show this part. This part doesn't, this part isn't important. It might be to somebody else. And I'm trying to be very careful on what I say about that, because I'm not trying to say the stuff that you've seen. Like I said, again, George Floyd, we'll go way back to Rodney King even. I mean, the moment that somebody pulls out their camera, and maybe not so much back when Rodney King went on, because it wasn't as easy to sit there and edit a tape as it is to edit other things. but you still have to inform yourself. What you're seeing may be exactly how it should be portrayed. Again, the George Floyd video was absolutely horrific, and it was obvious who was in the wrong. No matter what anybody wants to say about it, you got all the detractors out there, whatnot. But you can't spin that in a different way.
You can't, especially if it's a certain act. Like no matter what they did in the Rodney King video, it doesn't warrant the 8 or 9 people stomping him almost to the point of death.
And they caught it. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I said, and it doesn't negate that the George Floyd. No matter what he did, I don't see any part where the cops were in danger. And what that cop did, it seemed like he, based on the information we got after the fact, he had a personal vendetta against him. And you can't put your whole weight on somebody, especially if they're compliant. And then my understanding, when I did dig a little bit deeper dive into that, he was already in the car, and it took him back out the car. Mm-hmm. So that right there alone is against policy. And what I tell my guys is, as a supervisor, you don't need to be the accelerant. You need to be the one you need to be the extinguisher. And in the George Floyd, they were definitely the accelerants. They made that situation worse.
100%. Mm-hmm. And to the point too, Danny, right, is you still had people who were trying to, use it as a narrative. Well, he was on this and he was on that and he was doing drugs. But at the end of the day, they were called because he used a fake $20 bill. That's the original reason why the police were there. You don't need to come out with your guns blazing because a dude had a $20 bill.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And on most calls, you don't send 3 or 4 officers for a counterfeit bill. You just don't.
Exactly.
If this guy was brandishing a gun or something, or making threats or something with a weapon, okay, I can see that. But like you said, trying to pass a counterfeit bill, that was overkill, in my opinion.
I agree 100%.
All right.
Good question, Chris.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Trash, but I'll give you this one.
You what? You what?
I say
whoa.
Now I have to kill all of you.
Yeah, I see. This is twice now. Twice.
You saying all of you? I'm not saying nothing. So that's the inappropriate Phantom Zone.
I'll find a better one next time.
Yeah, Danny's a police officer, right? Like, you just putting your stuff out there on the internet. So guys, if I go,
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But Ian, this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Ooh, there's about to be some copyrights.
Chris is on point today. Had a white man pointing a gun at a black man. I
knew that was coming up. I knew it. I said, you know what? I know what he's going to say when I bring him back up. I know what he's going to say. So you're going to pick number 3, right, Nzo?
I am taking number 1.
Taking number 1.
Yes, George Floyd.
Wow, he doesn't have his neck or his knee or his hand or his foot or his knee on. But you find out that it's empty. So it's not. I mean, whatever. This is called Masters of Waiting. The new Masters of the Universe movie has wrapped. It is set to hit theaters in summer 2026. With the long wait, rewrites, recasting, several directors come and gone, is there any hope that this won't be as big of a disaster, if not bigger, than the original Masters of the Universe from 1987? What are your thoughts? 3 minutes on the clock, Nzo. Your topic, and you can start now.
To be honest with you, I haven't heard really much about what's going on with this movie, and I want to keep it that way. Now you're talking about recasting, rewrites, and that doesn't always necessarily mean it's a bad thing, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. And majority of the time it does, but I'm guessing sometimes it could be, maybe they want to get it right. Maybe they didn't actually have the right director. So, for example, the Ant-Man movie, they changed the director, and then that came out. It wasn't a great movie, but I thought the first one was at least doable. So I think it can be done with, if it's done with care. Now, blasphemy for you talking about the original Masters of Masters of the Universe like that, because that is a horrible classic movie. That is one of those movies that could definitely win one of our tournaments if we ever did it. That's how good that movie is. So we're not going to be disrespecting Masters of the Universe. But I just hope whatever they do with this movie, they get it right. I was talking to Brian about this the other day, where I was watching a video where they were talking about all the He-Man toys and how much they're worth, and there was not one. There was not one that I did not have, right? Rare ones I had, and I was a huge He-Man fan. I loved the toys. So if you're going to do this movie, I want it done right. I want to see a good He-Man movie, not one that's on Earth, one that's on Eternia. Give me a buffed He-Man, give me a buff Skeletor, make them look at least as much as you can make them look, as their counterparts. So that's what I want to see. Do I have faith in it though? Who's making the movie? Anybody know?
Hold on. I can look.
Because sometimes I usually don't. It's like, oh, it's Warner Brothers. Okay, whatever. It's this or that, Disney, whatever. But sometimes that matters. You know what I mean? Then you know what type of movie you're getting. And I want a violent He-Man movie. Of course, it's going to be for young adults, hopefully, and not for straight up kids. But either or, whatever they do, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Man, with the Mortal Kombat stuff going on and the He-Man stuff now, I just don't have faith that they're going to actually do it good. But I'm definitely. So he said the movie begins on Earth. No, we don't need to do that. We don't need
Amazon MGM Studios, just so you know.
Okay. We don't need to do it on Earth. That this is He-Man. It's not freaking, Transformers or anything like that. But because I think they're gonna do some crap where they're putting humans in it and stuff like that, and it just doesn't work for me if they do something like that. But if they keep it true, say what you want to about the Kevin Smith stuff, the He-Man stuff. Mm-hmm. Some of it was good, some of it was bad, but at least it was Eternia, it was He-Man, right? At least it was Eternia, He-Man, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Even the one that we thought was going to be trash, the kind of with the funny animation, I can't remember which He-Man it was called, but that one was good too. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that one was good too. So if they can do something like that, I'll be down for it.
The one where he shares the power with his friends?
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah. All right. Danny, 3 minutes. Time starts now.
Okay, right now I'm not really excited about He-Man because, like I said, we haven't seen the trailer. I need to see the trailer first to try and sink my teeth into it, so to speak, and digest it. I hope that as well. We see a picture of the guy kind of like in a silhouette. I think he needs to be a little bit buffer. You can tell he's fit, but Superman needs to be insanely buffed to me. I know people say, well, Dolph Lundgren wasn't. Yeah, but back then, for that time period, he was big. We have special effects now. We have so much more advanced technology that we can make him look buff and still make him look real at the same time. So I definitely think that if they do it right and stick to the source material, I would definitely want to see it. I like Hordak, so I hope that this is successful. So it'll lead to She-Ra and then seeing Hordak, because Hordak and Skeletor, traditionally, they have a very good chemistry together, like the master and the student type thing. I agree with what Nzo said. Recasting and reshoots doesn't necessarily mean bad things. The same way now we kind of got in our mind that the measuring stick is $1 billion. The first time we hear recasting and reshoots, we go into a frenzy. That's not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing to be pushed back. I think it's a very good thing in the MCU when they push back Doomsday and the other Avengers movie to give it time to make sure you do it right. Because sometimes, as we've seen, when they rush things, it doesn't always come out right. I'm very fearful, and I know it's kind of a little bit off topic, but I got to interject this real quick. That MCU, for the first time that I can remember, is going to have 3 flops. I don't think Fantastic Four is going to make its money. I could be wrong, but that is part of the world we live in now. So I hope that these movies that are kind of in the fantasy base and the superhero base are taking notes of what not to do. He-Man needs to come out next summer, but needs to come out in a movie where it's not going to be like next month. Next month's going to have Jurassic Park, Superman, and Fantastic Four. To me, if you are recasting or reboosting a franchise, you got to be very strategic in where you put it at. You don't want to have any kind of competition. You need to make sure as well that the story is good. It has well-known people in it. I think Idris Elba is in it. That's going to bring some. He has
He's in He-Man?
Yep, he's Man of Arms, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think so.
I think Jared Leto, like Shifty said, is going to be playing Skeletor. He's kind of, some people like him, some people don't. But
He definitely got buffed enough to be Skeletor.
They definitely need to make sure they place this in a strategic best positioning next year, so it's not going up to something that's going to be a potential buzzsaw and hurt them more than if it's a bad script and a bad movie. So I hope that as well. But right now, until I see a trailer, I'm really not excited one way or the other.
You see, one thing they need to do, and because it's He-Man, right? You have to get guys that look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in their prime. You know what I mean? I don't know about Jared Leto. I don't know about that casting.
Mm-hmm.
He was both in Morbius, but I don't know if he'd be bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Man, I've heard about this for years. I think my first big problem, and I don't know if it's an IP issue or whatnot, why don't we just call it He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? Or I think that's what it was called. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was the name of the cartoon, if I remember right.
That's it.
And I'm always surprised that they always want to just call this Masters of the Universe. It's like, why don't we just bring up the fact that it's He-Man? Because He-Man is the main thing of it all. And so I saw that. I'm like, man, we're going with the same name again. I read that it starts on Earth too. The last movie, a lot of the issues they had was just no money. So they kind of kept it all here on Earth. And that's why it happened. But what I've seen so far is promising. But I'm with Danny. I think I need to see at least some trailer, teaser, something like that. Kind of like the Superman movie. I just was like, I don't know. I really don't know. Then I see part of a trailer and I'm still like, wow, I don't know. Still don't know really because it didn't look all that great. And then saw the second trailer. I'm like, okay, I like this. And I'm like, okay, I see some stuff I really do like, but there's still some concerning stuff. This is definitely one of those movies you got to be kind of standoffish until you see more, because I don't know. It's one of those IPs we've been promised so much in the past. As Anza brought up, Kevin Smith's He-Man, it was pretty good. Wasn't excellent. Wasn't absolutely the best thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't as bad as some people said. And I think that there was some attempt to really be, really honor the original ideas of the show. But there were still some concerning things that was like, okay, I don't know why you guys did this or why you did that. Until I see somebody that really just says, I remember this as a kid. I remember how it was when I was a kid. This was on, and this is how it was. And they go back to that, and they just say, here it is. This is the accurate representation. We're not going to throw our own little artistic flair into it or our artistic licensing into it. We're going to give you what was on screen or what was on the short, episodes and stuff like that. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic with this because of the early pictures. But this is going to be a tough hill to climb with what we know about the old one, and if it's going to end up like that again. 3 minutes to talk about it together, guys. Here we go.
So here's the reason why they don't call it He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And I think that's the reason why they did it with the show too, is because when you do that, He-Man has to be the main focal point, which he should be. No, I agree, which he should be. But I think what they're doing is they take away that He-Man part. Well, one, because it's probably He-Man and, toxic people. Oh, why is it He-Man and blah, blah. That could be a reason. But also because they want to be more involved with other Man-at-Arms and Tila and stuff like that. So they just call it Masters of the Universe. At least that's my opinion on why they do it.
I think, too, if they do call it He-Man and focus and leave off the Master Universe, they're hurting themselves for as marketing, because those toys are going to be, if they come out next year, Christmas, they're going to be wanting the He-Man toys, because there was a resurgence of the He-Man action figures here about 2 years ago. I remember it didn't look as good as the first round of the He-Man toys, but I remember at Walmart probably about 2 or 3 years ago, they had the Battle Cats in there, and Skeletors, He-Mans. They didn't look as good as the first generation, but I think that now that we're going to see those toys out. And if you only limit yourself to maybe He-Man, Tila Man-at-Arms, but some people like Buzzsaw, and some people like Panther, and some people like Battle Cat, some people like Evil Lyn. So I think whatever character in the movie that you draw to, if you didn't make it mainly He-Man, then you may kind of hurt yourself a little bit in merchandising. Because some kids are going to like, well, I like Lockjaw better than I like whatever was the one that was the B, Buzz, whatever.
Buzz something, yeah.
Yeah, the one that could fly. What's his name?
The one with the wings there?
Yeah, I used to know all the cats' names.
Me too.
Yeah, Skunkor, and then the one. Who in the world wants Skunkor?
Danny, I actually had Skunkor. Danny, they have the He-Man set. It's He-Man and Skeletor, and it's worth $20,000. And I had that.
Wow. I know the first generation He-Man action figure. I knew at one time them things was easily $2,000-$3,000. Also,
yes.
I'm like, good Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I miss them. I wish I had them.
Yep. Stratos was the guy name.
That's it.
Stratos, Fisto, all kind of crazy stuff. There were people on there I ain't never seen before. Like, where did he come from?
David, I can't. I don't know. That first movie was just. Oof.
It's like it's a guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah.
I guess I can see that.
Is this something that I would go to the theaters if it come back? No. But if I see it on TV, I might sit down and watch it for a little bit.
For a little bit. Maybe the end part, you know what I mean, Danny? But all that Gandorf or Gindorf, whatever that stuff is,
a little
crap.
Like, why did you change him out for Orko? Orko
I know.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. They kind of screwed that up.
Would you put Orko in this?
I would.
Yes.
Yeah, I would too. But you see, I have that worry that, and kind of like what Dandelion said here, I like every character better than He-Man. Can't get past the haircut. I think that's kind of the issue if you don't call it He-Man. That's who it's supposed to be about. He has lots of supporting cast. Use them, but make sure you're with him 99.9% of the time.
Agree.
They could go to. There was a different He-Man. He was like in space. You remember that cartoon?
Yeah, vaguely.
And his parents knew who he was. He had a different powers. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it.
I know for me though, I'm just like, I'm with you, Chris. If you're gonna make a He-Man and Master of the Universe, you make it about He-Man. You know what I mean? He has to be the center point of the show, the movie, and you can And that's why I say you can do these ensemble movies. You can do great casts. You can have great characters doing this cast, but the movie's supposed to be focused around He-Man and Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You know what I mean?
I hope they don't do this. Share this with Chris if you don't mind.
Yeah, hold on.
He's gonna pull up some ish.
Not until I say I hope they don't do this, but this was an actual 1 year. That's He-Man with his sword.
Oh, yeah, no, I ain't never seen that.
So, yep. And his parents knew who he was. He was more like a space.
Yeah, no, I don't want to know. I think for me, if that him being found on Earth stuff, that's the problem.
But his mama's from Earth now.
Oh, yeah.
So he's part.
Really?
His mama's an astronaut from Earth.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, they showed it on the show.
Okay.
Yep. She crash landed on Eternia,
Okay.
and then she married Randor. But he's part Earth. He's not full Eternian.
I got you. Okay. Well, if they do that, that's fine. But you have to keep it to Eternia once he gets back there. You know, I don't want to be him on Earth too long. You know, find him, bring him to Eternia, and the rest of the movie should be in Eternia. So that's how it should be.
Yeah. All right. Final topic is let's see here. What did I call this one? Oh yeah. Super Gun. Superman Legacy, which is now just Superman. Again, when I wrote this stuff up a week or so ago, I still was finding Superman Legacy. They switched it to Superman now, which don't ask me why. But anyways, Superman Legacy is just 1 month away from its theatrical release. There seems to be as many supporters as detractors. What are your thoughts, hopes for this movie? And if it doesn't succeed in relaunching the new DCEU, will James Gunn get a second chance? I just saw something where there's a huge call from Snyder Boys to review on this day one. And James Gunn basically said, "Oh, that's all right." Says we'll be fine. And then a few of them, he says, "I don't think that the 8 to 10 people that follow this guy or this guy are really going to hurt us." Which
facts.
Putting that out there like that only makes it so that people try harder. But whatever. I mean, whatever. But what are your thoughts on this? What do you think's going to happen? How just talk about it a little bit. We'll get the timer back up. I'll let you, let's see here. Go ahead, Danny. 3 minutes.
I had my doubts that this was going to make $1 billion because it was going up against such a juggernaut, which is Jurassic Park. But I don't know. It might do it. I think that the supporters are outnumbered the detractors. I don't think that the Snyder guys, boys, whatever followers are going to have enough numbers to derail this. The ticket sales alone is baffling to me. I was like, I didn't think to do this. I know a friend of mine, he said he paid for his son and his wife. It's $58 for, I think, to go 2 nights early on a Tuesday night. I know Rob, last night we was talking on the show, it's 50-something bucks for him and his wife to go. So people are paying that. I want to go Tuesday night, but I'm not paying 50-something bucks. I can wait till Thursday where I can get my regular. But if people are willing to pay that, then it's going to do well. If Tuesday numbers are good, when I say good, if they're 50 million plus before the end of the weekend, Superman is going to kill it. Is going to make $1 billion. If that first Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, and it makes 50 million, it's going to kill it. The only thing that I have heard some little reservations about is it may not do well in the Asian markets. I don't know why. I thought that Superman was globally well known and well liked. I don't see why that would be an issue, but maybe it is. I think it's going to do well because it got a kaiju in this, and traditionally Asian markets like the kaiju or the big dinosaurs or the big Godzilla-like creatures. So I don't see why it wouldn't do well over there. But sometimes Asians in that market can be very fickle. I don't think James Gunn has anything to worry about from the Snyder Boys, but let's just say hypothetically the pendulum swings the other way and is not successful and not good, then I don't think he's going to get a second chance. This thing at least to be successful, got to make at least 700, 750, I think, to be given a second chance. If it don't make that, I don't know whether or not it's going to be considered a hit or not. If it makes 700 plus, I definitely think that it will get it. We will see a part 2 or whatever next movie he has in mind. Like some saying a Supergirl or Batman Beyond, Brave and the Bold, whatever it is. If this movie does well, like 700 million plus, I think we'll definitely see the Gunn universe form into life. But if it doesn't, I don't know. But if I get a bet, I'm betting it's going to be well.
That like $50 or $25 price tag, I guess it's dependent. I've got 4 tickets that I got, and I was invited to go by AMC. So, and that's on Tuesday. So I mean, I've seen multiple different things, and I'm wondering if it isn't, because like for instance, Amazon Prime is doing it, Fandango's doing a special for it, but it's all mixed together, and then AMC sent out a bunch of different people, investors and stuff. I think they sent out stuff too. That kind of has me wondering too, but I'll wait. Nzo, 3 minutes. Time starts now.
So I'm kind of on the other side of Danny, where I think that if it is good, it will make $1 billion. And I go off of the James Gunn success with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? So I think if it's on point with that, then you can add the Superman emblem to that. It should make $1 billion, right? But again, it has to be a good movie. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are pretty much complaining about some of the effects when you see the trailer and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think that'll all be fixed up by the time the movie starts. So for that, I'm like, okay, I'm cool with it, but to say that the movie is not gonna be good, I just don't see that in the trailers right now. I see there was a few things that got me, right? The crypto stuff, kinda, and there's a scene where he's like, "Oh, hurry up, let's do this," and Superman says something like, "Oh, I'm trying. That's what I'm doing," or something like that. Put a little joke after he got beat up. I hope they don't do too much of that. I know James Gunn likes to put a lot of humor in his stuff, and that could be a problem for me. But also, it could also be what the masses want, right? What they liked about Guardians of the Galaxy is that humor stuff, you know what I mean? So that could be definitely something to it too, as well. But at the end of the day, the Snyder cult, people think that they're this huge, oh my God, there's a bunch of huge cults. They're not, they're small. You know what I mean? And I say this all the time. I'm like, internet stuff is not real life stuff, right? If you go out on the street and you ask 100 people about this boycotting of Superman because of the Snyderverse, 99% of them will have no idea what the hell you're talking about. You know what I mean? So it's not big enough for them to affect the box office. We've had movies that have horrible numbers, reviewed bomb, and they still made money. So I'm not really worried about that. The one thing, and again, to Danny's point, is that I'm worried about is the fact that it's Jurassic Park, Superman, Fantastic Four. So it's sandwiched in between 2 huge movies coming up. That might be a problem. But if Superman is the best of the 3, then I could see it not really hurting it as much. You know what I mean? And could Fantastic Four be a flop? It possibly could be. To me, I think it looks good. I think it looks good. I'm excited to see what they do with Galactus, you know what I mean, and how it plays out. So I think it looks good. Now, will that one be a flop? Ooh. If Superman is good, one of them is going to flop. And
think it's gonna be
out
a
of the
flop.
3, it would be Fantastic Four. So
I can see that. I understand that Shifty. I understand that Superman has been jokey, but not in a way that is Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's my problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up that Nzo. It works for Guardians because that's how Guardians is. It doesn't work for Superman. So I've seen things out there that make me think, okay, that's not going to work for this movie. But they're short clips and stuff, so I don't know, and I can't say it. I'm not going to say that it's going to be bad. Listen, it's the DCU, the DCU. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's all the same fucking thing because it's just saying it's an extended universe, and in fact, it encompasses supposedly timelines, especially with Gunn. The way Gunn's talking about is that all of the animated movies and everything is going to be running around this idea of what he's going to be making, supposedly. I still don't think $1 billion. I still say like 500 to 750 because, I mean, and until I see it, I won't know. But I don't know if James Gunn has the right mentality or not mentality, but mindset for Superman. With Guardians, when I heard he was going to do it, I was like, okay, this is going to work really well. And it did. It worked really well for Suicide Squad because, again, Suicide Squad is that kind of comedy. But Superman is not that kind of comedy. Normally, Superman is awkward when he's portrayed as Clark Kent at the Daily Planet and stuff. It's just he's awkward and he doesn't fit in. Like, you know, he always he always seems like he doesn't really quite understand the concept of everything, and that kind of goes back to his alien lineage and all sorts of other thing. But we just gotta watch that humor. So again, if he can tone it down, and again, this isn't Taika Waititi, so we're not going to talk about that. I think Gunn might be able to figure that out and might be able to make it work, but we'll see. But so much is writing on this. I'm with Danny. If this doesn't, I'm going to say right now, if it doesn't hit above 700 million, I don't think this is going to be considered a success. And I think Warner Brothers, because they're talking about restructuring the whole thing again, they'll probably just say, okay, we've tried that. And granted, they got other movies that are getting ready to shoot and stuff, so I'm not really sure how that's going to work out for them. But I think if this does not work, and if you can't make Superman successful, because even Zack Snyder made Superman successful, if you can't make it successful, you're out. Superman Returns, no matter my personal thought process on it or my personal like of it, Superman Returns was considered a subpar Superman movie, so they didn't continue the idea that they had, which was 3 more movies, and or a total of 3 movies, if I remember right. They just threw it out the door because didn't do what we wanted, and they'll do the same thing with this. 3 minutes to talk about this together.
So here's the thing I'll say. Even if, so let's say it does get to about 700 million, right? We all know that's not going to cut it. But what they can't do is panic. This is the problem with Warner Brothers. They panic. It doesn't make enough money, and then they restructure and they do everything again. So you're going to waste the whole slate of movies that you announced it, the Green Lantern show, all of this stuff is coming out, and you're going to just scrap everything because this movie didn't work. Now, when you go look at the Marvel Phase 1, not every movie in that Phase 1 was good. You know what I mean? And when it came to Phase 1, I don't think, other than maybe the first Iron Man, not a lot of them made over 500 million. You know what I mean? Not all of them did. So at the same time, they have to understand that. And I think Warner Brothers likes to jump the gun too much because they're expecting Infinity War numbers and Endgame numbers with all of their movies. And that's just not possible, just to me anyways.
I don't
Let's
disagree
see
with
here.
Nzo saying.
Gunn said today he put the brakes on one of the DC films that was about to shoot as he didn't like the script. I think and one of the things I'm going to bring up right now about this is that I think Warner Brothers is also just, they throw all their eggs into one basket with one person. They did it with Snyder. Snyder kind of framed and led everything. And then as soon as Snyder wasn't able to be there, they went in and tried to do their own thing, and that screwed it all up. Letting Gunn have complete control over this, I'm not sure if that's the right thing. Even George Lucas, and Anzo can back me up on this, even George Lucas knew he wasn't the right person to do Empire Strikes Back. He was there to help with the technical and the special effects. He knew what he wanted to do so he could give pointers. He's like, I want to make this happen. But he found a director who could really put the characters first. And I'm not sure if letting James Gunn have full control over this, like you are God over this property or these properties. I'm not sure if he's the right person who can step back and say, no, I can't do this movie. I need this guy to do this movie. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. And that was kind of the problem with Snyder. Snyder really had a firm control over what everything had to look like. And I think that could be a downfall with this too. But we have to see the first one first. We got to see this one. If he knocks this out of the park and this hits $1 billion, we might actually get some sort of a continuity storyline of DC films.
And to be honest with you, it even like, okay, so let's say it's not a moneymaker, right? But it's, fans like it, right? Because again, at the same time, we know how movies are. And when you have 3 movies coming out on the same month big like that, someone's going to get left out. It's too expensive to go to the movies all the time, especially if you want to see these movies in IMAX, like Danny said, right? I know I seen that they had the Tuesday showing up here too, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go on Tuesday. But it was sold out. Like they only had the seats right up in front. There was no way I was watching an IMAX movie from those seats,
Mm-hmm.
So if it does well on the weekend, who's to say that it won't do well for its longevity of it?
It's kind of cheating because nobody else movie I could think of a long time started 2 days early. So they're kind of starting way ahead of the finish lines.
Well, again,
to a certain extent.
all the Tuesday showings are special engagements with Prime, Fandango, AMC, but they're all 3 like kind of combining it together. So I think like only 6 theaters in this city have one showing on Tuesday at 7:00, and then it's off on Wednesday. Thursday is its normal start day, like most films. So, how much are they really going to get in total on that? Probably not a lot, but
they are, because most of the places, like Anzo said, that I heard is sold out.
That's fine, but you're talking about one showing.
I don't care if you sell, let's say, in the whole United States is what, 3,000 theaters roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do 1,500 theaters,
okay,
at $25 a pop,
times anywhere from 100 to 150 seats, something like that, depending on which ones you're at. Because some of them,
let's say $150. No,
150
$25 times 150
seats times
$18,750 times 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's $28 million.
We'll see. Because again, I don't know how they figure out the things. Like I said, I got tickets for free, so I don't know how they figure that out. Do they count it as a ticket because somebody's paying for it? Because somebody's paying for that ticket. I mean, we know that.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know how. I'm being totally upfront about this. I don't know how they figure that into it. Like we've said for a lot of things with streaming, how do we really know what movies like Wonder Woman 84 really did, or what the Batman and other shows that almost exclusively went to streaming first. How do we factor that into everything? We don't. I mean, they're not very upfront about that.
Right. And you would also have to know how many people actually got free tickets as well, right? So I know it's not just you, but so there's people that got free tickets as well. Is it a big number? Is it a little number? I'm just going with a little number.
But we said 150 seats times $25.
Yeah.
Times 1,500 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's $5.6 million.
Okay. See, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that first day is going to blow the roof off of anything. No, but the idea is not to blow the roof off of it. The idea is have enough people say, "Oh wow, this was really good," but it could be just as much of a backfire. Again, I'm really surprised because I'm seeing a lot of stuff done with this movie I haven't seen done in years.
Let's
the tours and all that.
For 3 days. So in 3 days, at just half capacity, that's $16 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's only 1 day though. It's not.
No, I'm saying I did 3 days. I did Tuesday,
I got you.
Thursday, and Friday. Does not count Saturday and Sunday. So we had another 2 days.
Thursday and Friday is probably going to be every theater, 3 showings at least, and it will probably be sold out no matter what. I think it'll get to 50 million, 100 million even with no issues. It's just when you start getting to that 150 and 200 million, the way that it gets past that is 1, good movie, 2, proper word of mouth. And that's really hard for a lot of movies to get past. But we'll see what happens. All right, guys, it is time. It's been a while, but
do we have like a banner to show that I was the first Fact and Fiction champion?
No, we got no daggone banner.
No need for it. No need for it.
I mean, I did get one for the Rumble. I figured there would be something special for Fact and Fiction.
You got a whoopty damn dude.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now for the moment that everyone's been waiting for. It's Chaos Central's Final 5 Fact or Fiction.
Yes, the Final 5 Fact or Fiction. It's 5 questions. 2 answers you have, fact or fiction, yes or no. That's it. It's not that difficult. It's so not that difficult that even Nzo can win.
Well, I mean, we don't win nothing, so what's the point of doing this crap? I ain't answering none of these questions. There's no prize at the end. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take some.
I'll get you a cookie.
Value.
We get the whoopty damn do prize.
What are you? Are you trying to lure me into your car? Hey, little kid, you want a cookie? What are we doing here?
I'll see what I can come up with you. I'll see what I can come up for you because you won. All right. So, question number 1. Superman Legacy, again, it's Superman now, or Superman 2025 is what you got to call it now. Superman Legacy is coming to a theater near you on July 11th. With the Snyder Bros threatening a day 1 review bomb, Fact or Fiction, Superman Legacy will make at least $1 billion. No questions asked. Fact or Fiction. Danny.
I hate you.
Fiction.
Fact. I hate you.
Thank you. I've been saying fiction the whole time, so I'm sticking with fiction. All right. Question number 2. Before Superman Legacy, or Superman 2025 now, audiences will hear that familiar roar. Jurassic World Rebirth is coming on July 2nd. Now, will Jurassic World Rebirth make at least $1 billion? Nzo.
I really hate you. Fact.
Yeah. Fact. Okay. I am going to say, I'm going to say fact on that one too.
Make it 3.
Ready? Fact. Okay. All right. So I'll start the next one.
I'm just gonna put this on record. I want to say no, but I know both you guys are saying fact, so I'm gonna go with fact.
It's amazing how we can't even go with the ones we want because already we're thinking of, oh, I gotta win, so I don't know. All right, question number 3. Yet another reboot is coming to theaters in 2025. I Know What You Did Last Summer is coming. Oh boy, let's get ready for this. Fact or fiction? The reboot will make more than the original. The original made a little over 125 million, I think. I am going to say fact. I believe it will, for several factors. But Danny,
Fiction.
Fiction. Okay. Nzo,
I'm gonna go with fiction as well.
I can see who you think is going to be your competitor.
It's very Danny, you.
Danny, you get the next one, and it is in the reboot for I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt is reprising her role as Julie James, which was the main person in the first 3 or 2 or whatever the other one was. Fact or fiction? Julie James will die in this movie.
God, is there? I don't care.
No, there is not. It's fact or fiction.
I'm gonna say fiction.
Fiction. Nzo.
Oh my lord. See, I know nothing about this movie, so I don't know if she's the actual star or is a cameo.
I've
right?
never watched this movie.
So
the only thing I know is I'll put it this way. The only thing I know is I've watched the trailer, and the trailer shows them one of the main people in the new cast coming up to her and saying, "We need your help." And I think she's returning to the lake or wherever the hell this happens. So I think she'll be there in proximity with whoever the killer is.
I'm gonna go with fiction.
Fiction. Well, because you guys are going fiction, I will go fact because I don't know. I can't imagine she'll want to come back for 20 more of these, and I'm sure they'll try. What's going on, Ancient One? Good to see you. Let's see here.
What's up, Ancient
Fiction,
One?
fact. Okay, so all right. Last one. The Fantastic Four movie will be released on July 25th. There have been tons of leaks, and many believe they know the ending. Fact or fiction? The Fantastic Four will be considered a flop.
Fiction.
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 I will agree with you. I think that this one will actually probably get received better than most of them. Danny?
I'm going to say fact.
Fact. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. It is going to be saved now. It's in.
Now you're really looking for MCU to have that 3 movie in a row flop, eh?
I don't have no faith, man, because going up against 2 movies that we already said could possibly make $1 billion.
Yeah, I feel you.
No.
How much did Fantastic Four cost to make? Man.
I think if anything, Superman will hurt Fantastic Four more than Jurassic Park will, because I still think Jurassic Park has its own following that might not be a superhero following. You know what I mean?
So between $200 and $300 million. So at the low end, they're gonna make $600 million at least to be profitable, based on the current formula. At the high end, they're gonna make $900 million. It's not making $900 million. There ain't no way.
Well, when I say flop, I mean, again, I think that if it makes over 500 million in this grand scheme of Marvel movies, it'll just be considered.
We're talking about the theatrical run, right?
Yeah. And I'm not. So when I say flop, I literally mean it's like flop hard. Like it won't even hit how much it costs to make. If it makes 500 or so, I still think it's okay.
I think the minimum going to be 600.
See, that's commercial success. I think that in that 5, if it makes more, put it this way, right now the bare minimum marker for a Marvel movie to be considered maybe not horrible is like 375 million. I'm just going by what we've seen recently. If it hits 500 million, I think you can say, while not profitable to the studio, that enough people went to go see it. Again, it's not, how do I want to put this? It's not so much the movie's fault that the people who made it don't know how to.
I'm gonna need a number.
I said 500 million.
No.
If it makes 500 million or more, I think it's successful.
Ooh. Okay, so wait, let me ask you this. Do you guys consider Brave New World a flop? It made 412 million or something like that.
No, but
I think it's a flop.
No, because again, I look at the way that people, I look at the different reviews on both audience and stuff. Most audiences said it was enjoyable to watch. It just was kind of predictable. Again, these movies have been going through reshoots and different things. That just adds to a price tag. If it's to make a better movie, I don't know if that's the fault of, it's the fault of the people who made it, not the fault of the movie. If the movie turns out to be a decent movie or a good movie or fun or whatever, I think it's fine. But yes, it has to make a certain amount. I think so. Again, going off of what you just said, I think that hit about 100 million or so less than what it needed to do to make its money back. Same thing here. I think if it makes it up to there, because again, movies don't hit a billion. Movies don't hit 750 million every day. 500 million is a very good marker for movies, I think.
For MCU,
and we've seen
is not.
Well, again, there's plenty of MCU movies that have made 250 to 500.
And
there's only a few that have made 500 and over.
So if we're talking about between flop and profitability, then I can kind of agree with you on that, Chris. If we're talking about, so if you're saying if it's not profitable, it's a flop, then yes, I'll agree with Danny. But if you're saying that it's kind of different, where you can still have a flop, but it still be considered like a good movie, or I can kind of agree with that.
If people enjoy it and they go to see it, it's only going to make so much. Is it the fault of the fact that people don't go watch it 3 times and pay that money 3 times because the directors or the editors or Disney said, no, go back and reshoot this scene or this scene or this scene? If it ends up being a movie that's enjoyable and fun to watch, and that we say, okay, I liked this movie, it's not the fault of the audience that they're not going to go and be willing to spend that $20 3 different times on the same movie. Most people go see a movie once these days. Some, depending on the movie, because Danny, did you see Sinners twice?
I did.
You see? So sometimes, and like I went to go see Inception twice when it came out because I wanted to understand it. I was like, okay, I got to go back and rewatch this. I have to, because I was thinking about it for like days after. Like, what the hell did this all mean? What's going on? I wanted to go see it again. Sometimes we do it for certain reasons. But a movie like Fantastic Four, I certainly don't think audiences are going to go back 3 times. I just don't.
If you pull the movie, Sinners only cost $90 million to make.
Exactly.
But
so
if you go by 3, that's $270 million. It made double that, almost double that.
I understand. I understand, but again, cost of the movie shouldn't always be the decision or the marker. If most people say that, hey, I enjoyed watching this movie, and
you move the number up to 600 million, I don't have a problem with it. But I'm not.
How about we meet in the middle, and I'll say 550.
No, 600.
See, I don't think that the commercial, the profitability margin thing makes a difference. Because again,
gonna get the point then, because I ain't gonna agree for that.
So you're saying if he moves it up to 600 million, I'm okay with 600 million too, right? 5 to 600 million. If you want to say that, I can agree with that too. You know what I mean? I don't have an issue with that. I just agree. I just agree with just that because it's not profitable doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a flop.
And that's my point. Is that if everybody who watches it gives it great rave reviews, is it their fault that they don't go see it multiple times to make it profitable?
Yeah, but
because they spent more money than they should have on it.
What I'm saying is a absolute. What you're saying is what you're saying is subjective.
You're also, but here's the other thing. You also you're going absolute on something that we've already know is an absolute because they get kickbacks from the countries they shoot the stuff in. They get kickbacks from the products that they put the stuff in. So that money comes to them and we never see that actual number. All you're seeing is what the ticket price is. So while it may have cost $475 million, they may have already recouped 200 million of that for all we know. So we really don't know what that true profitability area is. It may only be 400 million.
I get
but we don't know.
But
that's why I'm saying 500 million. If it doesn't make that, I think it's a flop. But if it makes that 500 million mark, it's close enough to that 600. I'm sure they've made that up.
Chris, I heard what you say. You ain't gonna tell me 10 times. I'm just telling you, I'm not agreeing with what you're saying. So if it comes to you win, I win, I'm not taking that loss.
No, I'm willing to go to 600. I mean, I'd much rather we all agree on it. So
I could do that. I could do 600.
Anyways, guys, that's it for tonight. Another showdown. And next week, I believe we'll be off again.
Yes.
So tune in. Is it 2 Mondays? Ooh, well.
The bed is calling me.
Do you want to do June 30th, Danny, or do you want to wait till the 7th?
Let me pull up my calendar.
Because we got 1 week. If we take a week off, it's June 30th.
And then the next Monday is the 4th, right?
It's the 30th.
No, I mean after the 30th.
Oh, 7th.
Is the 7th.
Yeah. It's either the 30th or the 7th.
Wait, what? Oh. Yeah. Well, isn't the 30th the day our week off?
No, we got
23rd.
This got 5 Mondays in this month.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's whatever y'all want to do. I'm cool. Either way.
Well, let's just do the 30th and start on the 30th.
We'll just do something on the 30th, something else.
Yeah.
Like maybe like a game or some shit like that, or you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that because there's 5 Mondays next month too. So we could do we'll do something on the 30th.
There's only 4 Mondays in July.
Is there? Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but if we do that, what I mean is that we'll get the 30th. We'll do something then you'll do the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. We'll have a month off.
Thing if you want to. I mean,
nope.
What's that?
Do the what?
So you can do that Matchbox game thing you can do.
The Jackbox? We can do that. All right.
Yeah, we can do something like that. Yeah,
so come back on the 30th, guys, and on that Monday we'll do Jackbox games. It'll be just Danny, Nzo, and myself on the panel, so there'll be plenty of room for different people to be in the games. Come check that out.
Do a test of that thing with Nzo and Danny. What are you talking about?
Well, I will when I get it all figured out.
Do a what?
It's a new game that I'm coming up with.
To
do on the radio. And I'll explain it to you after we get off the air. But let's talk to everybody one more time and find out what they got going on. And we'll start down there with Nzo this time. Nzo, tell everybody about yourself. What you got going on?
Yes, guys. Like I said, Biggaford Entertainment. You know the channel. Doing the Walking Dead stuff, OOC stuff, tournament stuff, and whatever else. You know, be on the lookout for some randomness because me and Chris be doing that sometimes too. So yeah, it's always a pleasure. Thanks, Chris. Great show.
All right, Danny.
Oh yeah, you can find me on my channel, The Road to Wisdom, Mondays and Fridays. Also, sometimes I'm on Nzo's show, the OOC, Hangout, and Storms Live. After I thought about it, I won't be such a hard butt, and I'll meet you halfway at 550.
Okay. Nzo, 550.
Yeah, I'm good.
If it makes 550, we consider it a success. Under 550, 549. It will be a flop.
I'm good.
All right. Good. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
I'm Chris Knight. We'll review 3000, of course, here on Chaos Central, 3 Mondays of the month. And then we'll do another one, though, on the 30th, on that odd 5th Monday. We'll do Jackbox games. Yeah. So, everybody, thank you for coming by tonight. And that's it. Peace.
Peace.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and never forget to ring that bell.